Hello, very good evening. Yeah, are you able to hear me? Okay, okay. So, before starting into questions, any questions, anybody? Okay. So, first, if we go for interview, uh, what is the question you will expect? Yeah. So, what is your answer? So, yeah, tell me your thoughts. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay. Then, excuse me. Okay. So, your name, your educational qualification, your family background, and what is your total experience? Your total experience, how many years? So which all are the technologies you work, like Java, .NET, C, Oracle apps? Okay, which domains you work? Which domains you work means telecom, healthcare, something like that. Which domains you work? Then come to your current project. What is your current project? Who is client for that project? Then little bit brief about that project. You explain overall idea about that project, then come to your roles and responsibilities. So stop there. Okay, so like this, like that you frame however you feel comfortable. Understand, right? During your professional experience, total years of experience, what are the domains you work, what are the technologies you work, even you can include which operating systems you work, Windows, Mac, Linux, even you work with multiple operating systems, those one also you can include. Then what is your current project, client for your current project, brief about that project, then your roles and responsibilities. That is what you explain and stop there. Okay, what is testing? Exactly. Testing is nothing but verification plus validation. What is verification? So whatever I have discussed during testing definition, you don't want to go for that much in detail, but very high level you come up with. Okay, 2 3 minutes like that you cover. What is verification and what is validation? So differences between verification and validation. What is quality assurance? You have to say, actually whole of classes I'll be speaking or you'll be hearing, right? This is time for you. Yeah, that is software quality assurance, but this is quality assurance. Okay. Oh, that is what I told. That is I told. Quality assurance is nothing but verification, right? Quality control is nothing but validation, right? Exactly. Yeah, right. That is what. Yeah, it detect differences between quality assurance and quality control. Now you tell what is software quality assurance. Exactly. Okay. Differences between testing and quality assurance. What is your answer? Yes, quality assurance. Quality assurance is part of testing, right? Testing is nothing QA plus QC. That means QA is part of testing. Uh, yeah. No, no, no. It's part. Mm, see, different understandings you may come up with. No, this is not software quality assurance. This is quality assurance. Exactly. Okay. Software quality assurance is different. Quality assurance is different. Okay. See, some companies they'll give like senior quality assurance and QA analyst, something like that. It doesn't mean they are playing something other role. It depends on company. But QA is like testing only. Testing also you will consider it like QA. Okay. It's not like different you'll come across. Some companies it depends again. Some companies they may define it as like very high level of testing is quality control. Okay. But very high level if you go for like that you can. Difference between software testing lifecycle and what is the software testing lifecycle and explain each of its phases. So what I will describe here. What do you say? That is what I told. This is very very important into question. Fishbone model I told, right? Fishbone model. That is nothing but testing life cycle. That is what you try to say. All this one you don't say. Okay. So testing life cycle means you'll be discussing development life cycle also, but development life cycle analysis, design, development, testing, release, and maintenance will come up with respect to testing in each and every phase. What you will be doing. That is what you will be explaining. So that is nothing but fishbone model. That is what you try to explain. Don't get confused. Yeah. So testing life cycle means including development life cycle also. White box. Yeah. Exactly. That is what. Yeah. Okay. Sumi. Okay. Differences between white box testing, gray box testing, black box testing. What is the differences? Yes. Perfect. Exactly. Then what is gray box testing? Exactly. Perfect. Yeah. Right. Combination of white box testing plus black box testing is nothing but gray box testing. Some companies what they do is like they don't have enough budget, means developers themselves try to play black box testing, right? So at that time that is kind of testing is nothing but gray box testing. What is STFC? Yes, that is what you have to explain. Waterfall model, if they are asking means you can explain. Yes, that is what you have to say. Yeah, right. Okay, that is what you have to explain. Analysis, design, development, each and every phase, who will be involving. Yeah, right, right. What is the testing person in your STLC? Testing phase, you'll be testing, right? STLC, you can explain. Sorry, sorry. Yeah, STLC, you can explain. Software testing lifecycle. Okay. Excuse me. What is waterfall lifecycle development, and how do you agree with all these steps? You can explain like software development lifecycle waterfall model. What is V model? Okay. Yeah, right. What is what do you make a good software tester? What is your answer? Mm-hmm. Okay. Uh, software testing. Okay. Before that, I will ask you one question. Testing role is difficult or development role is difficult? No, I'm asking difficult. Which one is difficult? You are into tester. How do you motivate another department? Right? Development is easy, testing is difficult. Why means why means see developers what they do is like whatever they understand they will come up with their development activities. But why testing you are considering it as difficulties? You are finding out issues and in someone doing their job, okay, and telling like you done some mistake, okay. As a tester, what you are doing, you are reporting issues in someone's work. So this is like human being, this is not that much easy, right? So you done something wrong, me, how do you say, okay. So that's why testing is difficult than development. And another thing is like uh, once you find a issue, you have to prove it as a issue. There you have to pay much attention. It's very difficult, okay. So like that so always a big fight will be going on in between developers and testers. So testers always they say like this is defect, but developers is not defect. Like that they may coming up with. Always it will be happening for most of the projects. So that is the reason. See, finding out issue is not at all difficult, but you have to prove that issue as a defect. Okay, plays major role. Okay, here I will tell you one thing. That is what I told or not. I don't remember exactly. Uh, you were reported as a defect. Developer is not at all agreeing that as a defect. At that time, what you will do? What you will do? Okay, okay. So the situation here is like one requirement is there. That requirement, how you solve? That is what. Huh? So what you do is like what the situation here is, one requirement is according to your understanding it is a defect. According to developer understanding it is not a defect. Means one requirement, two different understandings. You told you go to type manager. Even at a type manager, nobody is stepping back. Each and everyone arguing with their own understanding. Then what you do? Excuse me. Okay. Then what you will do? You just sit idle. You go to client. Client is the final justice at this point of time. So client is aware of like what he want exactly, right? Okay. So if you go client, client will tell you. Okay. So what he want, accordingly you will follow. So that is the reason testing role is not that much easy. And another important thing is like to overcome these kind of issues. Always testers role is not that much easy. So testing very good communication should be having, and bug reporting tracking plays major documentation roles, right? Documentation part, even creating test cases also documentation plays major role. Okay, should be communicate in such a manner. And yes, always say like maintain good relationship with developers. Okay. So good software testing, another important point is like you have to find hidden defect also. See, developer what will do is like he will just come up with customer requirement, but you yourself have to think about like end user. You have to launch one application. How many ways are there? From a start program, okay, start menu, quick launch, and from desktop, right? Another way also you can launch directly wherever it was installed. Exe path you go and launch. Developer what it is like, he may come up with launching that application from desktop. He may forget quick launch or start programs. As a tester, what you have to do? Even this one also you have to think about it, right? Okay. So my point is like all possible scenarios, all possible angles, you have to test and find out bugs. Developer may not think about all these possible angles. That is another thing. And good tester, another point you have to remember, like hidden bugs also you have to capture. You have to find out. Okay. So this is nothing but like software, good software tester. Okay. So what? Yeah. Any questions? Key challenges of software testing. What are the key challenges? Understanding domain, and another as I told just now, like finding out bug is very easy. You have to convince, you have to prove that as a defect. There place major attention. Okay. So and communication and documentation. So these all are the challenges. What is alpha testing? What is alpha testing? Nothing. once whole application user acceptance testing, during user acceptance testing you will go for like alpha testing. Like once whole application gets ready under client company environment, you will install whole application and test. That is nothing but alpha testing. What is STLC? List the phases of software testing lifecycle. What is the test case? Test case is nothing but some document to test a specific scenario. So the template you can test. What is smoke testing? Major functionality. Okay, this is like tester acceptance testing technique or build acceptance testing technique. And another important thing is like most of the questions whatever they ask you should be aware of 100%. I can assure you, but what is the answer for that question you may not be aware of. So that is what you have to understand. Means what you have to do once you go for interview. And another thing is like knowing answer and the way you explain in the interview entirely different. How much you practice in your house even 10 years, but once you go for interview, then only you will get to know how you have to answer for specific question. Okay, so that is what see knowing answer is very easy, but you have to present that answer in such a manner the interviewer asking the question. That is what you have to mind a little bit. That is important. Okay, so smoke testing is build acceptance testing technique or tester acceptance testing technique. What you will do is like testing the major functionality of the application as soon as you get application, as soon as you get new build, to make sure whether that build is good to go for testing or not. That is nothing but smoke testing. What is STLC? Okay, so what is it? Test case smoke testing. Explain pilot testing. Pilot testing also one kind of beta testing. Okay, that is also beta testing. What is beta testing again? Exactly. Okay, so what is beta testing? Pilot testing also some terminology make it clear. Okay, that is also one kind of beta testing you say. What is verification point? This is automation point. Okay, you ignore it. So explain maintenance testing. During maintenance phase, which type of testing you perform? That is nothing but maintenance testing. What is parallel testing and audit testing? Parallel testing you are aware of. What is parallel testing? No, no, no. Competition testing. During functional testing, you will come across 10 different types, right? Functional testing, error handling, input domain testing, sanity testing, smoke testing, sorry, not sanity testing, configuration testing, compatibility testing. Then what will come up with? Okay, all those one you don't want to remember, just what is what. If you remember, that is enough. So parallel testing, then you will come up with recovery testing, installation testing, inter-systems testing. These are a lot of stuff, right? 10 different types you will come up with. There, parallel testing I could have explained. So who are competitors to them? How best they have to provide services. So that is parallel testing. Also you can consider like audit testing. No, not audit testing, competition testing. Then what is auditing? It's like anywhere, right? Auditing your normal term, what to do. So verification kind of stuff. So normally Any of the project you are going for means project managers or clients will be auditing always. Means how everything is going on. All are in the right track. That is what your project managers or senior management people will be performing. That is nothing but like audit kind of testing. End-to-end testing is nothing but what do you answer this one? One kind of system testing you can say. Okay? Yeah, like once entire application gets ready, all modules got integrated. Okay? So at the time you go for system testing or end-to-end testing. Overall scenario like login, compose mail, inbox, forward, drops, trash, something like that. Very end-to-end scenarios. Complete scenario will be testing. That is what you have to perform is what you have to do. Once whole application gets ready, then only you go for this application, right? Here drafts, trash, compose mail, inbox. Okay, everything is different model. Once whole application gets ready, long scenarios if it is. See, this one may catch some bugs at this point of time. That is the major intention you go for like end-to-end testing. Is one kind of once whole application gets ready, you go for system testing or end-to-end testing. End-to-end testing is one kind of like system testing. Security testing or penetration testing. Penetration also one kind of security testing. Okay, so whether your application is providing security or not, that is what you take to perform. That is nothing but security testing. What is recovery testing? What is recovery testing? Recovery. Yeah, that is one way. In another way, what you say, whether your application is providing recovery testing means auto recovery. Okay, automatic recovery features are not. I told one example if you remember, like if you forcibly shut down your laptop during your next restart, next start, it will give you like earlier shutdown was not proper, something like that. Okay, that is what that is nothing but like your recovery testing means auto recovery features whether your application is having or not. So that is what every application, every system should have. That is nothing but recovery testing. That is also one kind of error testing. Compatibility testing. What is compatibility? Yes. Yeah, yeah, tell me. Not hardware, software only. Okay. Yeah, it's not a hardware person, software person only. Sometimes some files got corrupted means every system should have that kind of capability. Okay, that is recovery testing. Okay, what is compatibility testing? Exactly, with respect to software. Then what is configuration testing? Exactly. Okay, that is perfect. What is comparison testing? It's like competition testing, you can say. Okay, it's like competition testing. Yeah, yeah, right. Who are competitors to them? Exactly. Okay. What is acceptance testing? This is like confusion kind of question. Either tester acceptance testing or build acceptance testing or user acceptance testing. See, remember, if you are not sure or not clear about any of the question, you can ask him very well. Okay? So, in interview, you can ask more details or something like that. Absolutely no problem. So, acceptance testing is nothing but either test acceptance testing or build acceptance testing means you can go for smoke testing or sanity testing. If it is, or this is the situation means both you can explain. user acceptance testing. What is user acceptance testing? Once whole application gets ready, you go for either both alpha testing and beta testing. That is nothing but acceptance testing. Okay. Difference between testing techniques and test methodology. What do you say test methodology? What do you mean by test methodology? What are testing techniques? Exactly, perfect. What you say is exactly means your model, you can say which model you are trying to follow, like waterfall model, V model, or something like that. AGL methodology. Okay, that is what you can explain. Okay, or even test plan also you try to explain. Exact test methodology means during test policy, test strategy, test methodology. That is what, right? Even that is also you can explain. But before that, at this point of time, you explain your which model you are trying to follow, waterfall model or V model. Okay. Unit testing, system testing, integration testing. First you go for unit testing. Whenever two modules integrated, you go for integration testing. Once all modules gets integrated, whole application gets ready. Then you go for system testing. Web-based testing. How do you perform web-based testing? What is web-based testing? Any inputs? First you go for security testing. Then you go for usability testing, functionality testing. Once whole application gets ready, okay, so once whole application gets ready, that means your application gets stable. Then finally you go for performance testing. That is what you say. First you go for security testing, then usability testing, then functionality. Once whole application gets ready, then performance testing. This is what I told so many times, like how different you test web-based application when compared to client server application. So if it is client server application means you go for usability testing and functionality testing only. But performance testing, security testing, not required. Advantages and disadvantages. This is invalid question. You just ignore. Explain client server testing. Just now I told you. How many test cases? How many test cases you write? How long you are working for this project? Let us suppose 1 year. How many test cases you have written? Can anybody tell number? Yeah, that is good. Okay, don't say too much. See, per day normally how many test cases you will create is like 3 or 4 or maximum 10. If you think like that, per month how many you will create? Per week 5 days means 50, per week 200, per month itself you are creating like 200, then for 1 year you are saying like 100 to 400. How it is? You don't think like that. You are into specific project means your role is not only creating test cases, right? So you have to analyze the requirements, creating test cases. Once you create test cases, you have to send it for review. Once reviewer reviews, you'll get back and again work on review comments. This is one part. Another part is in middle you will be getting releases, right? Internal release and extra. Internal release means again two types. What are that? Major release and minor release. Major release means every 1 month, minor release means every 3 months. So at that time, whenever you get release, what you have to do? you have to involve in regression testing, right? So like this, different roles you are playing, and whenever you get issue, you have to analyze that as a issue and report it as a defect. So whenever developers require again, you have to retest the defect. So like this, different roles you are playing. Okay, so test case creation is part like that you explain. You don't say simply like 100 or 200. Okay, so these are the different roles we'll be playing. So this is part of your testing job. So that is the reason. So hope mostly I have created 300 or 400 test cases. If it is 6 months, means like less than 200, you say 150, something like that. Okay. So what document do you refer to write test cases? Exactly, perfect. If it is agile methodology, you say user story. Did you use any tools to write test cases? Exactly. Okay. So have you written test cases? What is a test case? Template you can explain. What are the types of test cases that you write? Mostly functionality test cases, and the second priority usability test case also you may come up with. But what type of test cases you have? How many types of test cases available? I told business logic based test cases. Okay. Then usability test cases and input domain test cases. Usability, business logic based, and input domain test cases. Usability means user interface test cases. Business logic based means functionality, security, performance test cases. Those are business logic based. What is your business demand? That is functionality test case only you say. Even security test case, performance test case also you can say. Then what are input domain test cases? I told, if you remember, during test case creation. Okay. What is what do you say last one? Input domain test cases. What are those? Business logic, I mean like boundary value analysis, equivalence class partition, error guessing, and partition table. That is what integration test cases especially you don't come up with, but functional test case itself include integration test cases, but your project demands separate integration test cases, you will come up with it definitely. Okay. How to write regression test cases? Your functional test cases itself, you'll consider it as regression test cases. What do you mean by regression testing? So you don't come up with separately for regression testing. Whatever the test cases you have depends on the bug fixed areas, bug fixed modules. You'll pick up some test cases. Those test cases you'll consider it as regression testing. What are the criteria is bug fixed areas, bug fixed modules. How to write user acceptance test case plan or test cases? What is your answer? Have you ever written like user acceptance test case or test plan or something? Exactly, perfect answer. But what is that then? Normally, when you're getting test cases, priority and severity you're getting up, right? So high priority test cases you'll take and you'll execute. That is nothing but user acceptance test cases. Okay, priority one, priority two, priority three. As soon as you get bull, you'll go for first executing priority one, then priority two, then priority three. Okay, so priority one test case you go ahead and execute. What methodologies you have used to develop test cases? What methodologies you used? You have to think little bit. Means boundary value analysis, sequence class testing techniques. That is nothing but okay. Boundary value analysis, sequence class partition. You can say. Are regression tests required? Yeah. Or do you feel there is a better use of resources? Whose work is harder, testers or developers? I already told. What is business requirement specification? What is business design document? What are the business design documents? SLD and LLD, high level design and low level design. Who will come up with? Architects will come up with. What is use case? I have told in last class. What does it include? So how to derive test scenarios and use cases? Use case is a harder portion. Use case normally you will come up with test scenarios. Test scenarios very high level, positive and negative. And remember, each and every test case is nothing but one scenario. Okay? What is the role of documentation? Documentation plays major role, right? Okay? So reporting defect and writing test cases, or sometimes you may get a chance to talk with directly to client. Okay? How is testing different from development? Developers develop, come up with code. Tester will test their code. What you worked with use case before? Some template you be prepared. Okay, you explain. Can you tell me what is use case is? Full mod. See, one feature if you take complete description about that model. Login if you take complete description about that model, they will come up with in the form of use case. Okay. What is good time for system testing? When you go for system testing, what is a good time to go for system testing? Exactly. Once all modules gets integrated, then it's good to go for system testing. What does the bull deployment means? Exactly. See, remember, before starting up any of the project, they will come up with a plan, right? So whatever they plan to develop for this functionality, what are the features they plan to develop, they will develop, and that build they send it to deployment team. So deployment team deploys that build, and then as a tester you will start it up. So then they will send out an email. So it's ready for testing. You carry on with your testing activities. This is well. This is fine. Another important thing you have to remember: release 1000 you are there. Release 1000 means you may think only one release you will get very high level. Release 1000. Remember, it depends on project again. So in that release you may get sub releases also. Sub release some part of the build they develop. See, let us suppose for this build, compose mail and inbox they were planned. They have to develop two features and make it as a release actually. But what they do, inbox they will develop, and why you have to waste your time till compose mail develops. So what you do, they will make it as a deployment for inbox. You'll be testing. Then once compose mail gets ready, then you'll they will send it to you. You'll start with your testing. Here at this point at what they do is like release 1000.1, release 1000.2, release 1000.3, something like that. Some releases they will come up with. Okay, so that is important portion you have to remember. Release 1000.2.1, 2.2, 2.3.1, like that. So many releases will come. That is build. What is a module? One feature. Why should you when should you begin testing? This is important question. Logical question. When you will start up with your testing? At which phase of your software development life cycle start up with your testing? Yeah. During analysis phase itself, you start up with your testing. Okay, that is what you have to say. But what will testing? You explain everything, whatever you are aware of. Okay. So there you will be analyzing the requirements and come up with creating test cases. But real testing means once first deployment done, then we start up with testing for that application, like that you explain. Okay. Module is nothing but one feature. Inbox they will develop, and once they develop, they send it to you for testing. That is build, right? Module is nothing but features, right, in your application. Build means setup file. Build is nothing but setup file. No, 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 no. Build is nothing but feature. No, sorry, that is setup file code. Okay, that code may include multiple modules, right? That is setup file. When should you begin with your testing? Test planning. As soon as development plan ready, then you go for it. Test planning depends on development plan. So once development plan ready, then you go for testing. What is test strategy? What is the strategy you try to follow? That is what you can explain. You don't go like test policy, test strategy. I told, right? That is what you don't follow. Okay. But if they ask especially, then only you go for. But test strategy means you can say like your test plan, testing process. You say here testing process, test plan, test strategy. You try to say like once analysis test. What do you say here is like once you get requirements, you'll be analyzing the requirements, creating the test cases, executing the test cases. This is the approach you try to say. This one also you can consider like testing approach, testing strategy, testing process. Okay. So what does the test strategy include? That means exactly test policy, test strategy I told, right? That is what you can say. What is the difference between test strategy and test plan? Here you have to say test strategy includes the organization level, test plan include project level. That is what you can explain. Test strategy includes so many, right? Scope and objective, business issues. Okay. Then what will come up with? Testing environment. So many will come up with, right? Uh, okay. Even I also forgot. So all this one you have to say. What is test plan? Okay, introduction, assumptions, features to be tested, features not to be tested, background. Then this one you can say, yeah, yeah, right, right. Our test plan and test strategies, different documents. Define the following and change management, configuration management, version control, defect tracking. Defect tracking is part of version control or configuration management or change management, but all are nothing but synonyms. Okay. What are the roles of glass box testing and black box testing? Glass box is nothing but white box testing only, right? Okay. So unit testing, integration testing, that is what you can explain. What is a bug? An important question you may come up with: what is the difference between bug, defect, error, change request? They may ask you. All are synonyms. There is no difference. Somebody will call it as a bug, somebody will call it as a defect. But remember one thing: they may ask you for confusion purpose. Okay. So how you are calling it a bug and defect, both are same. Bug, and somewhere if you go and search in Google, they may tell you like bug is called by developers, defect is called by testers. Absolutely wrong. Okay, that is wrong. All are synonyms you have to say. You stick to that one. Explain bug life cycle. Direct question. What is the most interesting defect you found? Okay, like this kind of questions really people were asking these days. So what is the application you are working? In that application, be prepared 20 bugs. That one you can explain. High priority, high severity, high priority, low severity, high severity, low priority, low severity, low priority. Each and every combination, 2 3 bugs. Be prepared and explain in such a manner. Very damn sure questions these are. What is change control? Version control. Configuration management. Change control, you don't return, no. You don't write somebody name, right? Okay. That is what. What is the experience? Change control. Sorry? You are not good tester. No, no, I'm not understanding your question. Okay. Okay. That is what some project you should put in your resume, right? That project you have to be prepared. Which module? All the modules you don't want to come up with. One module you make it yourself ready. In that module, you be prepared. So this is the bug. You create some bugs. What is there? And another thing is like what is the project you are working? He is not aware of, right? Why you want to worry? Even you are telling 100% wrong. For him, it's 100% right. You create that. That's what I'm saying. You create bugs. Okay? You create some bugs. Compose mail is there. How many bugs you want to tell me? I will tell you. You cannot create bugs for compose mail. Like that. That's what I'm saying. Which priority you are putting? One module. Make yourself perfect. Make some bugs ready. In the interview, you don't want to struggle. You will be. It will be there. Everything is there in your Google. So even what is the priority you are putting, you get some module in your that module related information you get it from Google. Okay, something what priority you are putting, tell me, I will tell you. Okay, so that is what I mean. You have to prepare. What is your experience with change control? It's mandatory. You'll be working with every project, right? Do you think tools are required for managing change? Yeah, tools are required, right? Some tools. Otherwise, how you'll maintain? When a bug, when you log a defect using test data, what tools do you set? This is nothing but like a template. How do you do once you find a defect? What do you do? You yourself review it once. You'll talk with your colleagues, developers even required. Okay, then you. What are the basic elements you put in a defect? This is a very direct question. What is the biggest found you found? These kind of questions you'll catch it up whether you are really working on it. Be careful. That's why I told couple of times, so many times. Okay, whatever you're doing, make it perfect. You're maintaining fake. That at least that only you make it perfect. Okay, right? So these kind of questions will tell you like whether you are really working on it. Be careful for this kind of question. That's why I told couple of times. Be prepared this kind of questions. That means like 10 or 20, whatever the model you are working, make it ready. Once you go for interview, they are asking this is the thing. You tell, you convince in such a manner. Okay? So explain bug life cycle. It's your it's your wish. See, but you keep maintain less number of projects. And remember, current project you don't put more years. Just to put 6 months or 1 year current project. Why means if you put 2 years or 3 years, they're asking something means you are unable to handle means it's a little bit problematic. You are working here for 3 years, you're not telling simple stuff. That is the thing you may come across. That's why water projects you may maintain 2 or 3 years even, but current project just put 1 year. That means 1 year means 6 months it will go for understanding application only. Okay, so 6 months you just getting it like that you can convince. Even they also it'll get believe. Okay. So it multiple companies are multiple. It's your wish, but most people what they do wrong is like every year one project they keep on multiple projects. If they keep means they'll get good responses, something like that they may think, but it's absolutely wrong. Yeah, it's your wish. Yeah. 5 projects or 10 projects also you put no issues, but 2 or 3 projects also you put for 5 years. It's your wish. Okay. What will you do if developer does not accept the bug? Okay, so you come up with valid reason, valid requirement, you discuss with your team members. Even if he is not accepting means you go directly to client. What is the role of a bug tracking system? Bug reporting and tracking. What is walkthrough? It's like meeting kind of stuff. What is inspection? Okay, your clients are prime manager, test manager, builder. Computer also like one kind of QC, quality center. What did you do in your last project? Your roles and responsibilities you will explain. What was the problem you had in your previous see, they may ask you like what is the kind of mentality you are. These kind of questions you should be very careful. Even you conflict with your team members or something like that, you never try to tell in the interview. Okay, so one project means you may come across so many issues, conflicts, developers, testers, or politics in the team or something like that. Okay, so everybody try to recruit as a good tester, good team coordinator or team player like that. If you are a little bit different, they don't feel comfortable, right? That's why. Even have you ever conflict with your test manager, your manager or something like that? Never. Okay, you never say this kind of questions in the interview. Okay, did you have a situation where you did not have any documents? For a couple of sometimes you may come across. They are asking this question means they may not have requirements. So at that point of time, how you come up with creating test cases or something like that? Be careful even this kind of questions. Okay, they're testing. See, in IT industry, everybody looks for like quick learner. Everybody should be quick learner. So yeah, at this point of time, if they come across, you say like even we come across one situation like we never have any document for that project, but how we come up is like internal team will discuss, will understand the requirement, even help is there for that specific application. So like that, you try to convince. Okay, so discuss with your team members, conduct meetings, understand the functionality. So like that, we'll analyze and come up with creating test cases. That is what you have to say. Could you please tell me two things you did in your previous assignment? Two things means there are so many rules, right? You can explain what are your goal. We believe in ad hoc testing software process for projects. Do you agree with it? It depends, right? Okay. When you don't have enough time, you go for ad hoc testing. Really, some point of time, you'll definitely get a chance to go for ad hoc testing. How do you go about going into new organization? How do you assimilate? Any of the organization first, they'll introduce you to team members. Then they will assign you some requirements, they will give you how to understand, then slowly they will give you like some requirement and ask you come up with creating test cases. Then they will ask you for enrolling in regression testing. So that is the process. First, whatever the project you get assigned, it will take 6 months for getting into that project. What are two of your strengths? This is what your strengths are, weaknesses. Strengths you say like good team player, okay, quick learner, issues resolver, okay, issues resolving, something like that you try to say. In an application currently in production, one module of code is being modified. Is it necessary to test full application? Definitely you have to test. One module they modify means you should test entire application. Okay, sometimes it will break. Have you ever completed test any part of the product? That means like they're asking only one tester for complete test. Yeah, you say yes or no, like that. Okay, do you know metrics? What are the metrics? Okay, we discussed it in our class during test management, test policy. One person will come up with testing metrics. There are three types of metrics you will come up with, like quality test management metrics, process capability metrics, then like that, right? Okay, test management, process capability, quality assessment metrics. That is what you have to say. It's important in the question here. Okay, how do you estimate staff requirement? This is your project managers or test managers responsibility. You don't want, you can ignore. What do you do when a schedule fails? Normally you'll come up with plan. It may get a deviate, depends on requirement. Okay, so at the time you'll plan accordingly, depends on situation. You'll plan next week release, but all the modules were not developed. Then normally your project manager will take decision accordingly, not you. but they are testing you like you will take responsibility or not. How do you handle conflicts with team members? This is always normal job, part of the job. How do you know when the project is tested well enough? Okay, so 98 or 95% of the bugs fixed and 95% of test cases are getting passed. Then you can say that application is well tested. Characteristics would you ask in a team group manager? Okay, good coordinator, self-motivative, all this one you can tell it. What do you think the role of test group manager should? This is for your test managers. Okay, okay, so we have few more questions, but tomorrow again 1 hour we'll meet, right? So at the time whatever we have pending, we'll finish it up. Okay, any questions before ending our session? No questions? Okay, then no questions means we'll end up our session. Tomorrow same time we'll meet. Okay, yes, same time. Okay, okay, that's fine. Okay, thanks for your time. See you friend. Bye. Have a good day.